Most boring episode ever. Christopher Denver Metro Audits, Cordova fills out paperwork for over an hour on camera. Interacts with records people. Floyd Wallace trial delayed yet again. Intends to leave soon for another sex tour. Craig Hendry, political prisoner and Father of the Year candidate, survives solitary and another hunger strike. All this and more on this edition of Auditing Insanity. Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Auditing Insanity Newscast brought to you by ReallyCoolNews. I'm Johnny Jones, and I'll be your host for big stories featuring political prisoner Craig Hendry, prisoner of anxiety's Denver Metro Audits, and prisoner of love Floyd Wallace. While we'd usually have a lot to say about the trio, we're going to cut it short this morning and dive right into the action. So, we'll ask you to focus on third time's the charm, DMA makes records request again, Christopher Denver Metro Audits, Cordova apparently made a successful records request at the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office on Tuesday, after multiple failed attempts to get video footage from his time spent in jail last month. Cordova had been jailed for 15 days in the Jefferson County Jail in Golden last month as part of his sentencing for federal charges stemming from an incident at a Social Security Administration building in 2022. Because Cordova's sentence was so short, federal authorities sent him to a local lockup to serve his time. He inexplicably served an extra day in jail, which is common in the prison system, and has threatened to sue for compensation based on his 32 hours of extra time in the facility. Tuesday's records request came as Cordova continues to attempt to obtain footage of his time in jail. He said he had already been denied a request for security camera footage earlier in the day of his time within the federal court system for footage from his most recent court hearing. Cordova promised would send his lawyer to force the government to release the footage. Cordova's live stream from Tuesday consisted of over an hour and 5 minutes of Cordova filling out forms on a tablet provided by the Sheriff's Department. It is part of Cordova's new policy to film every interaction with the police and while auditing, including lengthy periods where nothing of value happened. He indicated that his records requests on Tuesday included all footage of him while he was held in jail, along with all of the employee records of those who interacted with him at the jail. He was also demanding the invoice of the last mattress order from the jail, along with total cost of the mattresses used by the jail. Cordova had previously complained bitterly about the thinness of the mattresses provided by the jail and shared an anecdote about another prisoner who was punished for using 2 mattresses at a time after his cellmate was reassigned to another part of the jail. As Cordova handed in his records request, the records supervisor explained that she'll be in contact with him if any of the footage requests required a payment and would not start pulling the footage until he had paid what was due. Complaining to his viewers that he would more than likely lose money obtaining footage for his personal documentary, he also explained that the rules against using the obtained footage for profit did not apply to him. He claimed that those rules only applied to attorneys who were trying to drum up clients and use the footage in advertisements, and the government could not stop him from putting out his documentary. Cordova ended his live stream shortly after turning in his requests to the records workers. I'm Johnny Jones, and this is your GoFundMe market report for Thursday, November 14th, 2024. The market continued a recent trend of no more than 2 donations for a day as newcomer Liberty Troll edged out Long Island Audits for the win for Wednesday. Liberty Troll, known best for a recent arrest, brought in $23 in new donations on Wednesday. There's no real reason for the donation, and it looks to be a drive-by. Sean Paul, Long Island Audits $20 take looks to be a continuation on the wave of small donations received in the wake of his conviction for trespassing in Schenectady, New York last week. Otherwise, it was goose eggs across the board with no new donations to any of the other funds that we cover. If you'd like to see a campaign added to this list, please email the URL of the campaign to jamesc9@gmail.com. We need your help. This newscast is funded by your donations along with what we make from our YouTube channel per month. While we did achieve full monetization on YouTube, we still need help to get through monthly expenses and keeping the lights on to bring you the paper and the newscast each day. If you can afford it, please consider donating to the GoFundMe run by this very channel. All donations literally go to keeping the lights on, eating, and writing news stories to feature here and on ReallyCoolSite.org. If you can't afford to contribute, please watch the advertisements on our videos and like, share, subscribe, and comment. You can help by doing next to nothing, and we thank you in advance for pitching in. Floyd Wallace to return to sex tourism. Hearing delayed. In a briefly available live stream on his foreign-only channel Wednesday night, YouTuber Floyd Wallace explained that his November 12, 2024, hearing to take a blind plea deal in Oklahoma has been postponed until December 11, 2024. Wallace explained that he received a notice from the court that said that they were backlogged with other cases and that they had to move his case back a month. This is a continued pattern with the Cleveland County court system in Oklahoma, as Wallace's original misdemeanor charges from mid-2023 have been delayed multiple times in the past. Things have been so bad in Cleveland County, as we've seen in the case of Jason Dollarhide, that delays have spread out Dollarhide's court cases for years. While two of Dollarhide's charges resulted in 15-year jail sentences earlier in the year, they were apparently due to plea deals made by Dollarhide to consolidate other charges. Even with his plea deals, Dollarhide still faces multiple charges and was housed in the Cleveland County Jail's overflow area for several months before being transferred to the state penitentiary where he'll be housed for his felony convictions. Wallace seemed elated by the delay, anticipating yet another delay that would force his next hearing until next year. The YouTuber pre-announced his next trip to Colombia for November 24th, provided that he has no problems with his passport due to an outstanding warrant from New Mexico. He also explained that he was on the verge of turning his foreign-only channel into another auditing channel where he would feature recycled auditing footage from other channels, as he does with his two other YouTube channels, when he got the news of the delay. His foreign-only channel will remain a travel channel devoted to his sex tourism as he'll be traveling again. In the New Mexico case, Wallace said he owed $225 for the fine and that he could make the warrant go away if he paid it. He followed up by saying he needed another $150 to finish the fees from his current Texas-based probation, which would result in him being released from probation early should they be paid. We were to the point where Wallace was amping up to start a drive for donations when the feed was made private. We'll continue to monitor Wallace's output for news as his feeds become available to the public. Craig Hendry released from solitary confinement. Self-described citizen journalist and political prisoner Craig Hendry announced on his Wednesday address from Indiana's Vermilion County Jail that he was recently released from a 5-day stint in solitary confinement. Hendry said he was put in solitary confinement after an undisclosed incident where he refused to assist correctional officers. According to experts, refusal to assist could mean anything including participating in chores or orders by the guards. The curly-haired YouTuber informed his fans that he went on another hunger strike while in solitary as he was unable to bring his commissary items with him. He said he learned what true evil was as he claimed that the guards mocked him for refusing to eat the food that they provided as he believed it was unfit for his consumption. Initially without books or anything to do while in solitary confinement, Hendry thanked a woman from Virginia for a letter that gave him the strength to make it through the torturous conditions. He also thanked his fans for sending him multiple books, including works from Ayn Rand, who he credited as making his life easier while he is serving time after having his bond revoked last month. Hendry explained that after he is found innocent of felony harassment charges next week in the Vermilion County case, he'll go directly to face charges in the Sullivan County case. He was unable to share the charges from Sullivan County as they remain sealed, but did state that the judge in the Vermilion County case briefly unsealed his Sullivan County charges for his and his attorney's review. The Vermilion County charges are currently scheduled for a jury trial to be held from November 19th to 21st. Hendry said he welcomed all of his fans to attend the hearing and warned that he would be unable to interact with anyone, as that would risk further punishment. There is no firm court date for Hendry's Sullivan County charges. He explained that Sullivan County authorities had up to 30 days to transfer him to that county for trial. And we're back. This is probably the shortest newscast we've put out in a while as well. Nothing exciting happened on Wednesday. Can we keep it up for tomorrow's newscast? Tune in and find out. Good night, everyone.